So I did make a video explaining the facts behind what this guy Terrance Williams was saying in his rant about black people going back to Africa. Need to go back. Well, he said on his timeline people were saying that they wanted to move back to Africa because America didn't have the values or set of morals that they believe in. So he said he would go pay for passports to go back to Africa. He said a bunch of more outrageous things. And I've seen people respond to it, but all I've seen was personal opinions and I saw this one video. This lady was actually questioning very detailedly, which I liked, but still nobody laid facts to him. So I did the pleasure of getting all the facts ready for you. So first, just gonna go off randomly, taking everything down. So first he said there's no any type of assistance in Africa. When there is assistance in Africa, family allowance grant paid by the government fully. You can get child support, which you say you didn't get. You can get child support in Africa. You get 250 rands a month, and $1 equals 8.49 rands in Africa. You also could get care dependency, social relief fund, unemployment benefits. They also have worker benefits, medical dependent, maternity, and sick benefits, according to the Office of Retirement and Disability. Okay. Also, he said there is no constitution in Africa, which I don't think he understands that Africa is a continent. It's not a country, it's a continent. There's 54 countries within that continent of Africa. So Zimbabwe has a constitution. Tunisia, Zambia, Libya, South Africa, Namibia, Kenya, Liberia, South Africa, other developed countries, according to Business Law. He said they have no rights to Africa. When they do, there's basic human rights as we have here in America. But it's just not applied to as we have it over here in America, because over there is all types of different lifestyles. You have third world countries, you have thriving countries. They have children's rights, mostly for slave labor or child slave labor. Women's rights. So, because in Africa, for some reason, the males are dominant and the women are very less than. So they have women's rights too to protect them. Also, he said something about fast food. He's regarding to black people. But a national study of the analysis of current population survey, they pulled national food chains and found that 56% of those who work in fast food restaurants from 2010 to 2012 were white, and 16% were black. Okay. Back to government assistance. The Department of Agriculture said 40% of white people receive more government assistance. 20% of blacks receive government assistance. 10% of Hispanics, and the rest of the other. Black people served in the military too, and in the Civil War, and all types of wars. And 1 million veterans received food stamps per year, according to Forward Progressive. If he thought those veterans that fought in our country deserve that once to go back to another country doesn't deserve the same benefits they got over here, is absurd, I guess. And according to a Yale Library study done by Omeli Yaleshitera, he's the St. Petersburg National People Democratic Movement spokesperson. This is in regards to when he said the Africans in Africa don't like the black people in America, which according to this guy who's a native of Africa too, or native of the continent of Africa, he traveled all over. He said that Africans actually admire the civil rights era regarding to black people in America getting rights for all types of people in America, of all color. That they especially admired the African American communities for stepping up and getting their rights, as some countries in Africa desire to do too. He said Obama's dad moved because he didn't want to pay child support which is false. His dad moved back to Kenya, Africa, to work at the Central Bank of Kenya after doing some courses at University of Harvard, according to NPR.org. He also said, black people scared of dogs, which is a generalization. This whole thing was basically a generalization. Farrakhan's minions, basically, that we blame the white man for everything. That I don't understand. That our ancestors were sold for pigs and blankets or traded, which in some terms is true during the slave trade, but initially when the African descendants became slaves, they were slaves only to work for free in America on plantations in the most extremist conditions of weather any time of the year or day. He said there's deadly flies in Africa, which is true. The test fly kills about 500,000 people a year, but that's not nowhere considered to the international bug, the mosquito, which kills over 1,000,000 people a year. I guess you have what do you have? You have a better. I don't understand what you're trying to say actually. Is it a higher danger because there's a test fly that kills 500,000 people, but the mosquito kills 1,000,000 people a year internationally? Also, um, there are police in Africa. Some are corrupt. If you do your research, you can see there's a lot of corruption in African countries just for power and money. So there's 54 central bureaus in Africa, and there's 54 countries in Africa, and they're all represented by a bureau. Even though the bureau might be corrupt and might not do its job to the fullest extent, according to interpol.int.com, that they at least still have it. There are health insurance in Africa through government assistance too. You can get health insurance, and it's mostly in developed countries. And if there isn't health insurance that you can't afford, if you want to move to Africa, they have missionaries that go and do God's work, and help people and bring medicine and stuff and feed. And there's also Doctors Without Borders. That's like a primary travel clinic throughout third world countries and poverty-stricken areas. So that's another thing. Let's see. Promise that. I think that was it. Facts wise, yeah, that's it. Facts wise, and actually, if you care to know about facts, there's actually more people moving out of the U.S. than moving back to the U.S. or into the U.S. just because of our social problems we have over here. Even though ours aren't compared to conflict in Syria, it's not compared to major thousands, 100,000 people protesting in China streets for democracy. It's not compared to a lot of other things that's going on in this world. But it is something that other countries still fear about moving to the U.S. But we have our own problems. Everybody has problems. But Terrance Williams, you have major problems. If you believe anything you say was true and people's feelings are getting hurt by a large generalization of assumptions, then you are demented. And then you have people over here commenting on it, and I'm not going to generalize saying all Caucasian people. We're saying, you know, well, this is what I've seen on the comments, where mostly Caucasian people saying, "Oh, that's my brother. You tell the truth. Get him." Oh, I want to eat some chicken now. That chicken looks good. That's my man. He knows how to eat chicken. This black guy likes chicken. They're all. I don't think you understand that they're not laughing with you. They're laughing at you. They're like, yeah, this is like I can say from my personal experience that the comments that are being made are directly to insult you in front of your face but you perceive it as total love and acceptance, that all of these stereotypes and or false narratives that you are portraying in the video are false. That's it. So yeah, the laughing with you, not at you. All that shit was bullshit. Facts proven. Peace out.